AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's rock!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
So. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Mark Schlereth coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. Talk Super Bowl with three-time Super Bowl champion Mark Schlereth. Peyton Houston, of course, LSU quarterback, commit for the class of 2027 there at Evangel. Posted a photo. Lane Kiffin posted a photo earlier today from Evangel. It was actually a trophy case and was like Brock Berlin's National Player of the Year award, which cuts me deep because my last high school game, we lost in the semifinals to that Evangel team where Brock was the quarterback. But nonetheless, so Lane was at Evangel today to see Peyton Houston, the LSU quarterback commit. Peyton Houston just posted a photo of he with Lane and Kevin Smith. And I had to do a double take. AI has gotten so good. I first looked at that and thought, is Lane AI? I couldn't tell if it was actually Lane Kiffin or it was AI Lane Kiffin. And then I knew it was actually Lane Kiffin because Lane's right arm is over Peyton Houston's shoulder and he's doing the L. But Lane's L's look like a check mark.
I was going to say finger guns. It totally looks like he's doing finger guns.
It's kind of like a gun, but or like a saxophone.
A saxophone is good, actually. That's really good.
But it's definitely not an L. It's definitely not an L. We got to get him to separate the thumb from the Webby. You know, the Webby right there, the Webby between the Webby. He needs to separate the thumb from the Webby.
I can't even.
To make an L.
I can't even do it.
Well, you're doing it. That's it. There's your saxophone.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't a jazz ensemble, Lane. It's LSU.
I hate the L hand motion. I hate it.
I don't care about doing the L. That's fine. What I don't like is what Brian Kelly started, which was the backward.
Yeah, what was that?
Well, because if you're holding up your left hand,
it looks like
it's a backwards L.
Yeah.
So,
nah.
So he started doing this. So it was the right, like it was an L. I'm like, we all know what it is.
People understand.
Just hold up. We know what it is. So I'm very opposed. I'm very opposed to the back of your hand. But that was something that was a BK mandate, so the staff holdovers still do it. Like I saw a photo today of Kevin Peoples doing the backwards thing, and I'm like, just throw it up, bro. Just throw it up. Give me double L's if you want. I don't care.
Double L's?
Yeah. Just don't give me the saxophone.
That's so good. We're calling it that from now on.
That's what it is.
I know, but
that's what
you
Lane
hit the nail on the head. That's
what
good.
Lane does, bro. Like Lane does. Look at any picture of him doing it. Find any photo. It's Lane doing a saxophone. Spread your Webby.
Oh, man.
Don't need the saxophone. Need the L. There it is.
That's a trumpet, yeah? I mean, come on.
Okay, you make a saxophone noise.
No. Yeah, no, it's more of a... Yeah.
No, you play saxophone. You play Mardi Gras Mambo in the saxophone. I think you just nailed it.
Yeah, okay, well.
So it's just a horn. It's a horn. That's all it is. It's a horn. There it is. All right, it's after further review. Mark Schlereth coming up here in a smidge. An hour ago, we talked about LSU baseball's pitching staff. Normally we do a position preview with Terrio the weeks leading up to opening day. If you missed it, so I'm out tomorrow. I'm the Grand Marshal in the KKDL Carnival Crew de Louisiane parade ball fundraiser for Mary Brad Perkins. So I'll be out tomorrow, and then next Friday we're at Super Bowl Radio Row. So the next time I'm here with Terrio, it'll be opening day. So talked about the pitching last hour. Run quickly through some of my notes on the lineup. So much of this is just set. Your outfield is going to be awesome. Stanfield, Curiel, Brown, left to right. I would say Stanfield and Curiel switching spots very akin to what happened last year with Braswell. They thought Braswell would get drafted. Milam was moving to short no matter what. Braswell went undrafted. They brought him back, so Braswell moved to third because Milam was moving to short. So Curiel is going to play center. I understand that they're switching, and I'm not saying Curiel will never play left or stand. There will be times when Stanfield plays center. You have 3 center fielders in your outfield, and they're awesome, and they're going to play. The name you need to keep an eye on is Daniel Harden. He's from Calicut. And if you don't know Daniel's backstory, this guy was a starter on the high school national championship team at Catholic. And he's awesome. But Daniel was a 2-sport guy. And so many elite-level baseball players only play baseball. Daniel played football and baseball. So he wasn't a 12-month baseball guy. So his baseball recruitment wasn't as robust. So he decided to go play JUCO, tore it up. Now he's back at LSU. He is an electric runner. He's electric with the bat. It's just going to take some time to adjust to this level of pitching, but he is going to play. There will be times he's pinch running, he's pinch hitting, he'll be a defensive substitution in the outfield if you have a pinch hitter. He's going to play. So Daniel Harden's the other one to know. On the infield, Trent Caraway play third. At least he'll get the first crack at it. He's the Oregon State transfer. Hit a dozen homers last year. He's a 12 to 15 homer guy this year. We know Milam will play short. Zach York is going to play first, the big first baseman from Grand Canyon. I can't wait to see what type of NIL deals this guy gets. Fat Boys Pizza, whatever. Somebody's got to load. Tell me that ain't what it is. Somebody's got to load up with that. Are you kidding me? If my buddy Stevie Levy, the king of the wings, still had pluckers open, I'd be like, why haven't you already signed this guy? But the most impressive thing about York, talking to some scouts about him, they'll say, number one, he's surprisingly good defensively. You think Sykes Orvis, Wes Ray, just the big fat dudes in the SEC that stand on first base, you catch the ball and club homers. But he's surprisingly good defensively. And his swing and miss is incredibly low. They rave about his plate discipline. I had one scout tell me he's seen them play 7 inter-squads. And in those inter-squads, he's seen Zach York swing and miss at 1 pitch. So you're talking about a guy with great bat-to-ball skills, low swing and miss, great plate discipline. The comp would be John Kruk. So excited about York. He's going to be a fan favorite. Second, and then Aaron Beatty's going to catch. And I would tell you, depth behind the plate is one thing that's a little bit of a concern. You got Eddie Yaman back, and then there's Omar Cerna, the freshman, coming in. But some of the convo around there is that he's had a little trouble adjusting to catching pitchers at this level, Cerna, and that he'll get better. Not that dissimilar from Aaron Beatty a year ago, right? But Aaron Beatty's going to be your starter. Yaman, Cerna, who develops there behind the dish, but you got to keep Aaron Beatty healthy this year. Second base is really the question. And you got 3 guys with Tanner Reeves, you got Braden Simpson, and you got Seth Dardar. Those 3 are the guys. And very likely what you're going to see happen is a lefty-righty platoon. So Simpson's your righty, Reeves and Dardar are your lefties, and I think one of the lefties and Simpson will platoon there, lefty-righty, based on, we saw that a lot last year at third base. But you'll go lefty-righty platoon. We'll see how it shakes out. And whichever of those 3 does not factor in as much at second base into that platoon will likely also get a look at DH along with Mason Braun. And that's a freshman coming in that they love, and he can hit the hell out of the ball. So some of the names that you need to know there. See if there's anything else in my notes. I think maybe the biggest takeaway. Well, another one, Klaus is a guy to keep an eye on. He's not going to start. Milam's your shortstop, but defensively, they really like him. The bat needs to come and catch up at this level, but I comped it to like to when Austin Nola was a freshman. And when Maneri sort of famously made the defensive switch, moved LeMahieu to second, and put Nola in at short for the glove. Now, Nola didn't hit a lick as a freshman. He became a very good SEC hitter. Didn't hit a lick as a freshman, but was great defensively. So that's the comp here, at least early in his career. The big takeaway, I think, is that I don't know that you're going to have a guy in this lineup like Jared Jones that's going to hit 22 homers like Jones did a year ago. But I think you're going to have more double-digit homer guys in this lineup, especially if you consider like how the second base platoon may work. Like, I think Curiel and Brown are going to be double-digit homer guys, especially if they each get 250 at-bats. Carraway and York are probably going to be 15 homer guys. Milam's good for a dozen or so. If you combine the platoon at second, they'll probably combine to hit 10, 12 homers. You can see how all of a sudden that starts to add up to be a team with great power depth through the lineup. Maybe not the one guy like Jones that's going to hit 22, but power throughout the lineup that can hurt you with the long ball. But, what Brown as an everyday player looks like this year is going to be fun. Aaron Beatty is certainly an X factor. And like we mentioned with those pitchers in the last hour, Fontenot, Shearer, and Paz, how they all develop, it's just going to be so much fun to watch. To watch Jay Johnson with this talented ball of clay, what he molds this into, because I think it is fair to say that this is his most talented roster that he's had. It certainly wasn't the roster a year ago, which I think speaks to what an incredible job Jay and Nate Yeske and that staff did winning a championship with that team. And you had the high-level talent in 2023 with Skeens and with Cruz and Tommy White and Trey Morgan, but you had a lot of program guys throughout that. You had your Pearsons and your Belosos and your program guys throughout that roster. This team is chock full of dudes that you could see playing Major League Baseball someday. The most talented team doesn't always win. A&M is a great example of that. A&M had arguably as good a roster as any in the country last year, and they stunk. Now, they had some injuries, but they stunk. There's no reason for them not to be in the postseason. Tennessee had one of the greatest regular seasons any of us have ever seen, and they didn't even make the College World Series. So, you got to do it. But my goodness, it's going to be fun watching all these pieces come together. 2 weeks and a day from opening day out at the box. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. DecisionCriticalBR.com. Don't let the BR fool you, though. They're all over the state of Louisiana as they've expanded. Now they've expanded into Texas as well in Dallas. DecisionCriticalBR.com. We always say it's not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. Maybe you've gotten a tough diagnosis and you need in-home nursing care. Maybe you're post-op and you need to carry out your doctor's orders in-home. The Decision Critical nurse can be there with you post-op to get the doctor's orders and then help carry them out in-home. If you're a physician and you're not referring your patients to Decision Critical already, man, why not? Like, if you want to learn more, contact Decision Critical, set a meeting with Blasia. She'll come to your office, sit down with you, meet with you, explain what she and her staff do. I mean, they have every nurse on their staff is handpicked by Blasia. And I've told you our story. Blasia was a CV nurse who helped take care of Drew when he was a baby. So, I mean, I literally would trust my infant child with special needs with Blasia. So, of course, I couldn't speak highly enough of Blasia and her team. So, DecisionCriticalBR.com. That's the website, DecisionCriticalBR.com to learn more or to set up that discovery call. Okay, let's knock out a quick break, y'all. Next week, we'll be out in San Francisco for Radio Row at the Super Bowl, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Mark Schlereth won 3 Super Bowls. Our conversation with Stink is next on AFR.
After further review.
Man, we got our install set up with Rev. It's actually going to be next week while I'm in the Bay Area for Super Bowl. But the Rev staff is coming on, Thursday next week, I believe we talked about. So they'll be at our house because Rev now has installed fiber in my neighborhood. So here at Guarantee, we're Rev customers. At Parish Construction and Roofing, we're Rev customers. Now the Mosconas will have high-speed internet from Rev backed by their all-fiber network. But it's not just high-speed internet. They have phone. They have cable. They have home automation. They can do all of it at Rev. Bundle it all together. You can save, and of course, you're backed by a great local company with 90 years of experience. When you call Rev, you're talking to someone who lives here. It's not a call center overseas. They are local, and they are awesome. They are Rev. R-E-V. Let'sRev.com, Let'sRev.com. 70,000 Louisiana home and business owners trust Rev.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalVR.com.
A little more than a week away from Super Bowl Sunday. You get a chance to talk to a 3-time Super Bowl champion, a dude that's also got his own chili line and is also Dr. or Detective Rock Hoover. You're damn right we're taking the opportunity. You know him as Stink. Mark Schlereth is with us. Stink, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you, my friend?
Doing really well. Man, you kind of check all the boxes. You're here on behalf of LG, Purdue, and Botobox. So we got to watch the game, we got to eat good food, and we got to drink good wine, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, you're going to have a fun time. You got to have and a big time. You got to have a big TV. That's where I'll start. LG OLED Evo TVs. I'm telling you what, LG OLED been the world's #1 TV for the past 13 years because they deliver the perfect blacks, the vivid colors, the ultra smooth action, zero blur, immersive sound. I'll tell you what, you can bring every snap, every replay, every TD right into your own living room from 55 inches to 97 inches. You can find out more at LG.com. Then Purdue's air fryer ready, crispy wings, restaurant quality wings at home, 18 minutes or less. From the freezer to the air fryer to the plate, it's that simple. Flavors like roasted, hot and spicy lemon pepper, crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside. Chickens raised with zero antibiotics, delicious. Check them out at Purdue.com. And then level up the beverages. Beer and soda are great, but how about wine instead? That's why I've partnered with Botobox, premium traditionally made wines, just in a better package, from the 3-liter box to the Boto Minis on ice. I'm telling you what, you never need a corkscrew. Just open and pour. How about the Bright Side refreshing white blend? You're going to love it. Pairs perfectly with all those salty snacks. You can find out more at Botobox.com.
Sting, I love the Botobox minis. I get the red blend. It's awesome. Like 10 out of 10 recommend. If you ever want a single serve, grab it. They're great. Hey, man, I want to ask you about the game in a second. I know if I ever had the opportunity to do this, I wanted to ask you this because I read that you were offered out of high school by Hawaii and Idaho, and you picked Idaho.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Why? Why?
That's just how stupid I am. No, honestly, one, I grew up in Alaska, so it was winter 18 months of the year, and I didn't know if I could wake up to sunshine 24/7, right? I just was like, that might drive me crazy. The other thing is, my recruiting trip, I went during the Pro Bowl. And not only am I watching all the Pro Bowl players, from Earl Campbell and Eric Dickerson, and I remember looking at some of the offense and defensive linemen and going, gosh, I don't know. I don't know if my dream's going to come true playing in the NFL. And then being in the weight room of the Hawaii players, I was like, damn, I don't know if I can play here. And then I went on a recruiting trip to Idaho, and I was like, well, at least it's got some crappy weather. We got some snow, and I think I'll be able to play here. And I thought that playing was just a far better opportunity to learn the game than necessarily kind of sitting on the bench for 3 or 4 years before I got a chance. So that's kind of why I chose Idaho. It worked out okay.
I think it all worked out all right. 3-time Super Bowl champ. You went mentioned being from Alaska. I think most people know you're from Alaska, know that part of your story. When I was looking at Super Bowl 32 that you won in San Diego, Jewel sang the national anthem, also a famous Alaskan. Like, who's the more famous Alaskan, you or Jewel?
Jewel, no question about it. But I do have some Super Bowl, I am one of one in Super Bowl history. So Get this, I am the only player in the history of the Super Bowl to win a Super Bowl on his birthday where his age corresponded with the number of the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Super Bowl 32 I won Super Bowl 32 on my 32nd birthday. So Once you win a Super Bowl on your birthday, you just quit celebrating birthdays.
They call that They call it the golden birthday, right?
Right, exactly.
So you won a Super Bowl. I knew you won the Super Bowl on your birthday. I didn't realize it was your golden birthday. That's pretty incredible. By the way, so of your 3 Super Bowls, Stink, like you won in Minnesota, San Diego, and Miami were the 3 that you won.
Mm-hmm.
Did San Diego and Miami make up for having to play your first Super Bowl in Minnesota, which had to just be an ice where you got to do nothing fun?
Yeah, well, it was Minnesota was something, right? Because it was freezing cold. We didn't do a whole lot but sit inside. But, the Super Bowl in San Diego, just being, 13-point underdogs to kick off the week. And I think at game time, we were 11.5-point underdogs to the Packers, who were supposed to be unbeatable. And, winning that game and having that confidence of just us in that room. And, that was special. And then the history, I grew up, I knew the history of the National Football League. So to know like the lack of success that John Elway had in Super Bowls previously and how important he was to our football team and how much, he was just one of the dudes. It was really important to all of us to play that game so that he had a chance to hoist the Lombardi Trophy. So that was a really cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah, man. Mark Schlereth is with us, 3-time Super Bowl champion. He's here on behalf of LG, Purdue, and Bodabox. LG.com, Purdue.com, PERDUE.com, and Bodabox.com. You can watch, you can eat, and you can drink with all 3 of those great sponsors. Hey, it's so interesting you talk about Elway, and you also obviously played with Mark Rippon, who was a Super Bowl MVP, won a couple of Super Bowls. But you go into this game a week from Sunday, Mark, and my goodness, I mean, Sam Darnold and Drake May, it's just like we all drew it up back in July, right? But, I mean,
right.
Are we looking at just a fundamental shift in the NFL where maybe you don't need to have Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, the great quarterbacks in the NFL right now? Are we just seeing a shift in the league?
I don't think it's necessarily a shift. To me, it's always been the best teams or the most balanced, the best overall teams. Now you can overcome that with a quarterback, right? That is just exceptional. But like the teams that have just the overall best talent, the best, execution, all that kind of stuff are the teams that win championships. And the Sam Darnold thing, as you mentioned, I just love the story. Gets drafted by the Jets, is considered a bust, goes to Carolina. That doesn't work out. Decides to go to San Francisco, and he told me sitting down with him, he said, hey, listen, man, I went to San Francisco because I need to learn how to play in a progression offense. And I'd never played in a progression offense before. I wanted to learn NFL offense. So he goes there as a backup. He had chances to compete for a starting job elsewhere, but he chose to go there as a backup. That's just the level of maturity. Then wins 14 games in Minnesota, and they kick him to the curb. So he's been kicked to the curb by 3 different teams, goes to Seattle, and he has kind of been their number one. They love Sam Darnold. I mean, love Sam Darnold. He's such a great dude and just an incredible story. And I just think Seattle right now in the last 5 or 6 weeks playing better football than anybody in the league. What a great NFC Championship game it was. And if you'd have told me, hey, man, at the end of the day, your bingo card has Sam Darnold outplaying Matthew Stafford, I'd have said you're crazy. Yeah. But that's exactly what happened.
Hey, before you go, I got 2 things quick. One, you played and won 3 of these things. We all can look at the quarterbacks. Is there something else a week from Sunday that you're looking at as a key factor worth keeping an eye on?
Yeah, I mean, I think the defensive line of the Seattle Seahawks versus the offensive line of the Patriots. They've given up a lot of sacks. They've given up a lot of pressures. Drake May in his first 2 playoff games fumbled 6 times, lost 3 of them. I think he was sacked 10 times in his first 2 playoff games. So that's going to be a matchup right there because Seattle is really good up front. And if the Patriots can't stay balanced, that could be the X factor. One thing on the Patriots side that has benefited them is the legs of Drake May. He has been exceptional in third downs at creating some first downs, scrambling around. He did that in the AFC Championship game, and that was one of the big factors that led them to a victory. So should be a great matchup. I think it should be a great game. I do think Seattle's a little bit better, and I'll take the Seahawks. But That and $6 will get you a Starbucks or a latte from Starbucks.
Less than that will get you a Boda Box Mini. I know. I buy them all the time. He's Mark Schlereth. LG.com, Purdue.com, BodaBox.com. We got it all on the screen right there if you want to check it out. Make the most out of your Super Bowl. Hey, man, what's next? I know you do great stuff with Fox. You've done the whole the soap opera stuff in the past before. Anything else coming for you that we should be on the lookout for?
I just been working the last year on my podcast. The Stinking Truth podcast is all NFL podcasts. I usually download it 3 times a week. You can get it anywhere you get podcasts, but I've really been trying to push the YouTube aspect of it because it's all about breaking down the game, but doing it in an entertaining fashion and telling some stories. And it's me and my radio partner Mike Evans, and I tell you what, we have grown like a weed. Went from about 3,000 subscribers to 20,000 subscribers in the last year. And it's been a lot of fun doing. So a lot of great things going on over there. The Stinking Truth. You can check it out on YouTube.
Check it out there, the Stinking Truth podcast with Mark Schlereth. Hey, Stink, we appreciate it, man. Enjoy the game a week from Sunday. Thank you for the time.
You're welcome. Thank you. Great to be with you.
Our chat with Mark Schlereth. We will be on Radio Row for Super Bowl 60 next week. Really looking forward to it. We're leaving. We'll be wheels up to the Bay Area on Tuesday morning, and then we'll be broadcasting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from Radio Row. Really excited to be out there. Everybody about South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com, new and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Remember all the different IIHS top safety picks. I stress that so much because I think it's so important, especially if you're a parent and you're buying that first vehicle for your child. And you want something that's affordable and safe, and they want something that's stylish and fun. Volkswagen's perfect. You're going to get the style, feel, performance of luxury, so it's going to look great, fun to drive. You're going to get all the great safety features and the great German engineering, which give you amazing peace of mind. And then there's the affordability. $3,000 off 2026 Atlas, the compact SUV, the Taos. How about 3.9% APR or $500 customer bonus? You can learn more right now about all their specials. Just go to the website at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. You see all the dealer specials. You can work out your financing online, do the whole thing right there at southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Glad that you're aboard with us here on this Thursday edition of AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. It's got a lot to do. Otter's here in 15 minutes. Let me knock out a quick break. I do want to get to some of what Mickey Loomis had to say at the Senior Bowl when he met with reporters. We'll dive into that as we continue here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. Hey, look, Gordon, of course, also is a great supporter of the Tigers. Talk about the G team all the time with baseball season right around the bend. Tell you much more about the members of the G team for baseball as Jay Johnson's squad is going to be back at it. Man, how much fun times we had with baseball with Gordon. The 8,888 shots, the Jello shots back in 2023. The giant donation that they made, obviously, with Will Helmers and Louisiana Loaded going up to Rocco's this past summer with LSU doing it again. Hopefully we have another great reason to celebrate with Gordon and the whole G team in Omaha coming up in June. But in the meantime, if you've been injured in an accident, no matter where you are in the state of Louisiana, Gordon's got an office and his team of attorneys can help you. So go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
I think that there's a really talented group here, just like last year. I think the last couple of years in particular, it feels like, I don't know this for a fact, but it feels like we're getting a lot more really good players, and that's a good thing. Just it's more information for us, and we get to do interviews and get to talk to these guys, and it's been a really good thing.
Mickey Loomis meeting with reporters at the Senior Bowl. Jeff Ireland did as well. And yes, a lot of the focus is on the Senior Bowl class and the future and what they may be leaning into in the draft. But the assembled media also took the opportunity to ask about a couple of the free agents and some impending decisions. A day ago, we talked about Demario Davis, who was on Up and Adams with Kay Adams and said in no uncertain terms he will be back in the NFL in 2026. He just doesn't know where yet. He's an unrestricted free agent, and it sure seems like he's going to sign somewhere else. And Loomis was asked for reaction to Demario's comments.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I heard it. Yeah, look, we love Demario. Wanting to be back and hope he's back, but yeah, we'll get through that.
I can understand not wanting to tip your hand in a negotiation. Or like the pre-draft press conference, I always think is silly. Like the day before the NFL draft, there's always a press conference, and so you do, as a staff, months and months of evaluations. Right, you go to the Senior Bowl and you go to the Combine. And you go to pro days and you have top 30 visits and you work tirelessly for these many, many weeks on your evaluation for this draft class. And then the day before the draft, where you're supposed to just disclose everything. So I understand they're going to be going into a negotiation here with Demario Davis. And so not tipping your hand. And he says, we love Demario, want Demario to be back. I just don't think that answer instilled a lot of confidence that the Saints really believe he will be. Maybe that's what I was looking for there, and you didn't get it. He was a little more expansive in talking about Taysom Hill, who, boy, sure, if you looked at Taysom in the last game of the Dome, it sure looked almost similar to when Drew Brees lost that last playoff game to the Bears in the divisional round. I'm sorry, they beat the Bears in the wild card round. They lost to the Bucs in the divisional round. When he was leaving the Dome and kind of looking back longingly. I mean, we all knew at that point it was over. Kind of felt the same way with Taysom. But here was Mickey.
I've given him some space, so we'll touch base with him soon. But it's hard to have these conversations right after the end of a season. You want that emotion to go out of it. And give guys some time and space, and not feel like they're pressured to make decisions. And we've got time, so.
I'm not expecting Taysom Hill back. It certainly seems like he's going to retire. I don't know that this staff really figured out how to fill the quote-unquote Taysom Hill role. Taysom coming off the devastating injury, had his least productive season. It's probably not certainly, but probably the last time we've seen Taysom Hill in a Saints uniform. And then they have a big decision to make about Brian Brzee, because they'll have to choose this offseason as Brzee's going into his fourth year, if they're going to pick up his fifth-year option. And Ross Jackson actually has a great piece up at LouisianaSports.net. If you want to go read it, again, everything always free at LouisianaSports.net. But he kind of dives into how the Saints' approach on the fifth-year option has differed as the price tags rise. That makes sense, right? Because the fifth-year option, as the salary cap and the salaries rise naturally in the NFL, the price for a fifth-year tag is going to rise. Well, for Brian Brzee, his fifth-year option with New Orleans is $12.99 million. That's what they'd have to pay Brian Brzee if they picked up his fifth-year option, $12.99 million. He's just not playing through 3 years of his career at that level. So the Saints did pick up Chris Olave's option, which I was not in favor of. But we have seen them decline fifth-year options. I mean, just as a for instance, when they picked up Sheldon Rankin's option at the time, it was only $7 million. So you're seeing them do this less and less now. And there were some very obvious ones where, like, if you look at Trevor Penning, they did not exercise his fifth-year option. Peyton Turner, they did not. Cesar Ruiz, they did not. They did, oddly, for Marcus Davenport. But you've seen it more in this last half-decade or so that that they've chosen not to exercise those fifth-year options. We'll see what they do ultimately here with Brian Brzee. Do we play the clip? I'm sorry. Here, I just did a 5-minute setup. I didn't even tell you what Mickey. Anyway, here's what Mickey said.
We'll get to that. We haven't. Again, we just we're early in the process here, and timing's a little different this year because of the number of people we have in this game, but we'll get to that soon.
He did say they're a little behind because you do have a handful of coaches, like staff members in that game, and then you had several coaches in the East-West Shrine Bowl as well, coaching there. So some of your staff has not been there in the building here as they've been going through these All-Star games. So it has set them, Mickey said, it set them a little bit behind. So we'll see when ultimately they get to it. But the league year, you're still more than a month away from the league year beginning. So they'll get to those decisions in time. So basically, there's Mickey Loomis not saying much of anything, per the usual. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We are brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Hey, gents, Valentine's Day is 2 weeks from Saturday. You have anything yet? If not, I got a great option. Go by Lee Michaels because they have a great option for every budget. You can always shop online, lmfj.com, Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, or pop into any of their locations. 2 in Baton Rouge. There's Corporate Boulevard in Bocage, Mall of Louisiana, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, or find the other location nearest you online. Shop them online at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. You walk in, friendly staff. They treat you awesome. When you walk in, they greet you with a smile. They make you feel special because when you're buying jewelry, it is special. The hope is you're buying a piece of jewelry that will be handed down through generations of your family. That should be a special occasion, whether it's Valentine's Day or an engagement, an anniversary, whatever. It is important. And Lee Michaels wants her to be thrilled. So thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Jimmy's going to be here for Otter Locks. Another good night for the Otter last night. Remember, we have gotten a lot of texts about all the Matt McMahon conversation. And I just, there just isn't an easy answer. Like, competitively, I get it. The easy answer that everybody has come to is LSU made a bad hire, and they need to move on. That's the competitive answer that most have landed on. And by the way, I think with a 4-year sample size, it looks like it's a bad hire. You also had to make a 7-year investment to get Matt McMahon to leave Murray State because he was taking the job knowing sanctions were hanging over the head of the program, which they were. And I'm just telling you, man, that some of the conversations I've had today with all of the financial investment that was, so many people were stretched for this portal class and Kiffin and Brian Kelly's buyout. I just get the sense there's not a lot of people that are super eager to go set a pile of money on fire for men's basketball right now to buy out Matt McMahon and that staff. So, listen, play 10 more games in conference, go 1-9 in those 10, and maybe people get mad enough to make something happen. But as of this very moment, you may feel a certain way. I'm telling you, the people that are going to be influencing that decision, the ones that are actually going to have to write checks, they don't necessarily feel super pumped about writing those checks. So, we'll see. Okay, final break of the show. Thursday, brought to you by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. DecisionCriticalBR.com. We'll knock out a break. Wrap it up with Otter Locks next.
AFR.
If you are thinking about selling your home, why in the world would you call anyone other than Darren James, the realtor that quite literally sells more homes than any other realtor in Louisiana? Log on to agent225.com, agent225.com, agent225.com. Remember, Darren guarantees he'll sell your home. Guarantees it. When you hire Darren, you're going to sit down with him. You'll agree to a price and a deadline. If he doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he'll have your home bought with cash or he'll sell it for free. It's the guaranteed sale program. And working with Darren obligates you to nothing. Number one complaint to the National Association of Realtors: hired my realtor, they listed my home, never heard from him again. You'll never have to worry about that with Darren. If at any point you're not thrilled with the communication and the level of service, fire him. Let you out of the contract free and clear. But by the way, that has never once ever happened in Darren's career. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. All right, one thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
You, Otter, how are you?
Doing great, man. Doing great.
Good.
Actually, over at the Manship Y, watching some really good girls high school tennis, man. St. Joseph's and Mount Carmel. Really good stuff.
You know someone playing?
No, I'm not betting. No, I'm not betting. Yeah. Sophie Bourgeois, Ryland Stafford. Yeah.
My guy said, no, I'm not betting.
I used to play a lot of tennis back once upon a time.
Was it even you have standards?
Yes. So, but no, these are really, really strong teams in the state. So this was a good one to come watch. So anyway, enjoy light night in college basketball. So one selection. It's late. It's the latest game that starts tonight in Irvine. So Hawaii and Irvine played earlier on the island earlier this year. Went to overtime, and Hawaii barely snuck by. So now the return trip to Irvine, and this is a triple barrel play. Myself, Paul Stone on a podcast that put it out, and Matt Humans on the show all put it out today. So we're taking Irvine, the Anteaters, minus the it was 1.5 when I called Honey. It might be 2.5
It's
now.
2.5 now. We still like it?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. You got everybody was criticizing the kid from Georgia for shooting a layup at 0.6 seconds. That covered for us, so we were just fine.
A bit. Yeah, since we couldn't make the phones work yesterday, I read the picks, but I forgot to play the picks. So you had a wonderful night, and I didn't get to benefit because I just didn't go back and make the picks.
Got one Friday pick that we put on there, too. Humans and I both like them. Remember, Michigan was the favorite to win the whole thing. They have failed to cover 7 in a row now. They go to East Lansing and play Izzo's boys. So we're going to take Michigan State on the tomorrow night's Fox game. And then Thursday, that's Colucci night.
Let's
so we got a
go.
triple play. The Battle of New York. He likes the Islanders over the Rangers. So the New York Islanders, this has kind of been creeping up a little bit. It was 130, 135 when he put it out earlier, but probably like 140.
142.
140. Yeah, so he likes that. He likes the Minnesota Wild. It's a little bit of a price there. And then the Las Vegas Golden Knights, when you had that long road trip and you come back home, the Golden Knights had a 4-game road trip: Boston, Montreal, Toronto, and they're back in Vegas tonight. And so we're going to take the Dallas Stars, even money there. So Dallas Stars, New York Islanders, and Minnesota Wild.
All right. And you said tomorrow Michigan State, yeah?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, we're fading Michigan, who was number one in the country, but they adjusted the lines, but you've been getting really good lines on them. Purdue and Michigan combined 0 for 14 against the spread their last 7.
All right. Tomorrow is a Friday, which means Raffinos for the boys.
Yes, indeed. Right. Looking forward to it.
So, all right,
I'll
Otter.
see you there. You're regular on Fridays.
I try to make it at least. I try to make it at least once a month to get by and see you guys and have a little Friday lunch over a little filet on a Friday. So I can't make tomorrow, but I'll be there.
Okay.
I'll be there soon enough.
Let's finish off this week on a positive note.
All right, Otter. Good luck. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
See you, man. All right, we're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Locations all over South Louisiana. I want to remind you again, I mentioned it yesterday, they're looking for a technician at the Youngsville location. Youngsville, one of the fastest growing communities in Louisiana. Amazing benefit plan, bonus package. If you're an experienced technician in around Youngsville, you need to get in touch with Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. With locations all over South Louisiana, they've been doing it and treating people right since 1968. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills. We keep you rolling. Okay, that's going to do it for us here again. Otterlocks. You got Cal Irvine tonight on the hardwood, and then in the NHL, the Islanders, the Wild, and the Dallas Stars. If you parlay them together, it comes back at like plus 450 or something like that. Just saying. All right, that'll do it for us. Muse Pauly, thanks. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, as we say, together we roar. Part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System. And, I love telling you about Our Lady of the Lake because whenever we talk about healthcare, Our Lady of the Lake understands the two things primarily that people want are access and convenience. And they knock that out of the park. Whether it be at the regional medical center, if it's the lake after hours, if it's any of the specialty services that you may need, heart, stroke, cancer, pediatrics, you want the best. You want Our Lady of the Lake. You can learn more about the Championship Health Partnership, OLOLRMC.com/LSU, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar.